What is going on YouTube? It is Primitive here, and today I'm going to be bringing you our first Battle Spirit Saga locals match. This is going to be between myself on the left playing Fabled Beast, and then on the right is going to be my Team Icewall teammate Brandon playing a white mid-range build that we have been working on for a couple months now and trying out a little bit of a new iteration. So going to start off with my Phantasm. I want to start getting the draws out because I do have things like Hippocampo in hand, which is going to allow me to speed up, and I also do have Ice Shield, so I'm not as scared of taking early damage because he's not going to be able to knock me out right away. So I'm going to go ahead and go in with the Hippocampo right here to try and get in the free check since they're both exhausted, but he's going to respond with the suppression, buffing up the Librarian up to 4k, and then when blocking will go to 7, so is going to take out the Hippocampo, and that is a bit unfortunate, but I am able to at least get out a suppression early. The faster we're able to get rid of the suppressions, a little bit easier it is going to be to go for those late game blessed. And right here, Brandon is going to swing in with that automatic gunner first, which allows me to go ahead and flash and delete the Librarian with the angelic pressure, which was an interesting start, but instead of going with the Librarian first, but I will take it, getting good value off the angelic pressure, and on my turn now, going in with another Hippocampo to get that draw, and decide to play out the Arcane Knight Hex, so that way when I swing in with my Hippocampo and get that blessed heal, I'll also be able to draw a very nice card to help speed up this deck. So now going over to Brandon's side, I am starting to be able to develop a board with that Hippocampo and being able to heal up with that Ice Shield, and Brandon is going to go for the Elephant here. He's probably not expecting that I'm going to be able to go for game, and he wants to kind of build up, but I am going to be able to play Dream Bomb, only paying 4 thanks to that Penton. So I'm just going to go ahead and swing out here. He doesn't have the cores available to be able to really stop anything here. Did see the Ice Shield in hand and said he wanted the Dream Bomb to be able to bounce Nexuses and such and keep that Ice Shield in hand for later. Didn't really think he was going to go down right there, so was getting a little bit punished by that, but to be fair, looking at the rest of the hand, I don't think there was too much to do even if he did play out that Ice Shield. I was going to stay pretty ahead on board, so start off with that Steel Leaves game 2, which allows me to get that free Hippocampo Blessed swing, the best turn 1 when your opponent plays that Nexus to be able to get the punish. But now, again with the automatic gunner and the Librarian, both are slightly intimidating. The Librarian can get really big on their turn, so I do decide to just commit the angelic pressure now and get rid of it before it's able to buff itself up to 4k on the attack. And here comes Odin. Odin is going to be a very big issue for me because it's not something that I can really super easily deal with without having a couple removal cards at once or going wide with things like Alice. So I do decide to go ahead and Dream Bomb here, just paying the 4 so that way I can swing with the Hippocampo, force him to block, and then swing with the Penton and start to get some chip. I'm going to be having to probably play for the Dual Eagle Phantom Beast King Lyn combo to be able to win this game here. So I was just trying to go ahead and get some damage in, and I was expecting Odin to come back out, but instead goes with the Black Jaguar, which is honestly just a little bit worse because now my Hippocampo goes to the bottom of the deck instead of going into my hand. And the threat of Odin is still going to be there. I just kind of have to go a little bit wide here so that way I can at least try and get damage in here. The Black Jaguar is only going to be 4k, so I'm going to go ahead and swing in my 4k and my 5k here so that if they do decide to block, I can at least get rid of the Black Jaguar. But now I'm going to go ahead and play that Dream Bomb to bounce the Gem Beast to my hand, which isn't that big of a deal because I can play it for pretty cheap. But the problem is now the Airvatar can go ahead and get bounced by Odin, which I know is in there, but actually goes for the Platinum and Odin at the same time. Platinum able to bounce back my Airvatar, and then now Odin going to be able to swing in, bounce back the Penton, and just get the damage. And I'm going to go ahead and pop the Ice Shield, bring it back to my turn, and hope there's something I can do. I do get the Dream Bomb, and I'm going to have to probably set that as Burst. I'm still thinking about if I want to keep it in hand or set it. Everything else in my hand is just those spirits, and I don't necessarily want to set the Dream Bomb because playing it out of hand is nice, but I also kind of need to be able to try and deal with the board when it swings out, so I do go ahead and decide to set it there. I will have the cores to be able to play it once something gets bounced by this Odin. I'd imagine that's what they're going to go ahead and play out first, and also I just kind of have to bluff Ice Shield to a degree. I don't think it really matters right here. I think no matter what, Brandon is just going to be in the driver's seat. So here comes out a second Odin. Gonna go ahead and bounce the Gem Beast, and I'm just gonna pop the Dream Bomb to be able to bounce the Odin right there. and they're going to go ahead and swing in. I don't have the cores to be able to really do anything here because I'm going to need to, I believe I have another Dream Bomb in hand, which could potentially help me, but they're just going to use the regain to unsuspend the Odin that already attacked, and then when it attacks in, we'll bounce that Ervata and just end the game. So going into game 3, I am going to choose to go second. I don't really want to give my opponent the opportunity to go second and just kind of be able to go 3-4 spirits wide with regain and be able to blow me out white aggro style. So also getting that extra core, and Gem Beast is a nice little 4k to start off. It does force my opponent to core up all their stuff so that way they don't just get blocked out. And they have the Librarian and the Bullet Ray. I'm just going to respond with my Penton and the Phantasm. Phantasm I want to get out as soon as possible so that way I can get those draws. But now we see Valkyrie Mist, and that's going to be a little bit of an issue because they're going to bounce back that Gem Beast, which was a 5k, able to essentially block anything on the board. But now Valkyrie Mist comes in, bounces it, and I'm going to have to replay it, which isn't the worst. Now that I have Phantasm, I can get the draw, but it's still just extra damage that I don't necessarily want to take. And now I'm going to play out the Cathedral so I can start to ramp. That's going to be very important in this matchup because if we go late, I need a ton of cores to be able to play my more top end that I sided in, because I side in things like the Enterprise. But now I got the Flamefish coming in. Flamefish is pretty decent right here because it does stop Librarian unless they have the 2 cores on it to be able to bump up to 5, and if they drop the Bullet Ray down, then I will be able to pop that. So Flamefish is just a little bit annoying of a card, but Turbo Rex is going to be even more annoying because they are going to force me to attack every turn, and also when attacking going to be able to bounce one of my spirits. So I decided to just go ahead and commit the Dream Bomb right now. This is going to force them to have to play another 3 cost and then ascend off of it to be able to play out that Turbo Rex. So I just need to slow it down. I do know it's in the hand, so it's going to be pretty easy for them to bring it back out later in the game, which it'll then be an issue once again, but that gives me time to try to get more magic, maybe another Dream Bomb, a couple Exhaust Nexus, or whatever you need. I am starting to go a little bit wide, which is something that I have to be worried about because we did see the Platinum revealed the last game, and my entire board right now would get bounced back by Platinum, which would be kind of a problem, but I just kind of need to represent damage, keep playing things to get that Phantasm draw. And if they did have the Platinum, it would take a good amount of their cores, and I would be able to reset my own core usage and still be able to get draws and stuff from Phantasm. So it would be not the greatest, but it wouldn't be the worst. So they do have the Dream Bomb, though. They're going to bounce back my Ervata, so that way I'm not just getting like infinite Cathedral value off of it. And I'm just going to go ahead and take the damage as we go. I want the cores, and I'm not too worried about taking damage as long as I have the Ice Shield on board and also in hand. So I'm going to go ahead and play Alice here. Going to be able to swing and do minus 4k. I decide to go ahead and just put 2 cores on her instead of the 3, to put the 3 cores on the Cathedral, so that way I can get those draws because I do have the Ervata on board. So being able to block with the Ervata, get a core, draw a card, play the Penton, block and do the same is going to give me pretty good value. So we're going to see that right now. They are going to go ahead and swing in with the Pegasus and the Bullet Ray to go ahead and try and start clearing things off my board. And also the Pegasus exhausted will be able to block any of my spirits with 2 or less cores, so still not too terrible, but it is going to ramp me and give me some cycle, which is definitely going to be helpful. Going to keep the cores on the Cathedral just to try and continue to get as much value as possible. And a second Cathedral coming out, not going to be able to get me draws, but will be able to ramp me cores, which again, I am playing cards like Enterprise and Elephant, so if we get there, all the extra cores are going to be nice. And we see here another suppression going on to the Bullet Ray, so it's going to be 8k to my 6k on my Eagle, which is going to take me out, which is unfortunate. I would like the Blessed, but I still get some card draw and some ramp. I do make a little mistake here, which is only ramping 1 core instead of 2 cores when the Eagle dies, so I am going to fix that right there. And when I swung with the Alice, I targeted the Bullet Ray, making it a 5k once again, negating the suppression. They could still redirect, but they would lose their Bullet Ray. And now comes out another Pegasus and the Turbo Rex that we knew was in hand, and it's going to be a menace because now it's swinging, bouncing that Alice, and I'm thinking about if I want to block or let it go through, because if I let it go through, I'll have to proc the Ice Shield, but I decide to go ahead and block with the Gem Beast, going ahead and playing the Angelic Pressure, making Turbo Rex a 5k, and then using Suppression to make my Gem Beast a 6k. But Brandon responds with his own Suppression to make it an 8k once again, so my Gem Beast is going to go down, but they had to pay the cores off of the Pegasus and the Bullet Ray so that way it can keep the DP up there. So swinging with the Pegasus, I am just going to block with the Flamefish, and I am able to now pop the Bullet Ray. Not going to get any Cathedral value since that's only for yellow spirits, but we've seen multiple suppressions gone through, and there's only one card in hand, so I can go ahead and play out my Blessed Spirits now and be able to more than likely get some swings going in. Only going to be able to block with the Turbo Rex if they have suppression, but seeing that they don't use it there, they probably don't have any more in hand, whatever that one card is. So I'm going to get that one blessed, go up to 3 health with Ice Shield still intact, and my opponent sets a burst, more than likely either another Ice Shield or a Dream Bomb, and so those are things that I could pretty easily play around. And here comes the Platinum, something that I was worried about earlier in the game, but not coming out until... honestly, till it's a little bit too late. It does bounce back the Penton, but I'm not too scared by that. I have feels like an unlimited amount of cores coming in, so gonna go ahead and play Elephant here. Elephant is something where this could have been a mistake on my end. I decided to play the Elephant so that way I could refresh the cores at the end of the battle, but my opponent is just going to be able to swing and bounce it with Turbo Rex, so it wasn't as great. They used the Turbo Rex ability to force me to swing with the Eagle first. Eagle is going to get blocked out by the Turbo Rex, and so I'm just going to go ahead and swing Gnomon Guard. Since it is going to go ahead and get bounced, I might as well just swing in and get that refresh, and now my opponent is going to be forced to swing in. So the Elephant might have been a little bit of a mistake. I probably should have waited till I've seen Enterprise, but this is okay. That means my opponent is going to swing their Turbo Rex and have one less blockable spirit right now, and gonna swing in with the Pegasus to pop my Ice Shield because they are running like very far behind on resources. They have one card and I have probably 7+, while also being able to get more with Phantasms and the Cathedrals. So I'm going to go ahead and play out Dual Eagle here. Going to be part 1 of my favorite combo of the deck, with the Dual Eagle and the Lin. So I'm going to play the Pen-10 out just because I do have the cores to get one out and reduce my magic. But here comes the Lin. I do have 3 Fabled Beasts, so all 3 of my opponent's spirits are going to be treated as level 1 for the rest of the turn, which means that I can go ahead and swing with my Blessed Spirits and they are unblockable. But of course, Turbo Rex is going to be able to choose which spirit I attack with first. Choosing my Penton so that way I don't get that blessed heal, and then popping the Ice Shield, but still feeling like I'm in a pretty good position because with Lin's secondary effect, if I have 3 or more 2 costs, I can make him unblockable, which is going to be put them on essentially a timer here. But they're going to go ahead and swing, bounce back the Dual Eagle, and I'm just going to go ahead and block with the Hippocampo to get those draws and those cores. I'm feeling pretty confident that I have the ability to just go for game. I do have, I believe, multiple Exhaust Nexus with Angelic Pressure in there, so I could clear the board right now, but I am going to go ahead instead just go wide because I have Ice Shield set and I have an Ice Shield in hand, so I'm not worried about them going for game if they do survive this turn. So instead, I'm just going to go ahead and put spirits on the board to threaten lethal because they have 2 blockers and I will have 4 attackers. I could go ahead and take 3 of the cores off of one of the cathedrals and play another 2-drop, which would then make my Lin unblockable, which would be nice, but they're going to go ahead and have me swing with the Hippocampo first, block with the Platinum. I'm going to go ahead and swing now with Lin at 8k to the 7k of the Pegasus, but they're going to go ahead and suppression the Platinum, which I will Dream Bomb, bounce back, and this is still pre-block, and so they have to go ahead and take the life there. I'm going to swing with the Penton. They block with 7. For good measure, I'm just going to go ahead and play the Angelic Pressure to make it 4-4, and go ahead and for the swing right there. And looking at the hand, it's just Platinum and Dual Gun Derm Dyna, so was able to take that. A very back and forth set just because White has a lot of tools to be able to deal with Yellow, but Yellow also has a lot of tools to deal with White, especially with the Lin Dual Eagle combo. But hope you enjoyed our first Battle Spirits Saga Locals match. I'll be having much more content for Battle Spirits Saga coming up soon, so if you enjoyed, be sure to like and subscribe, and also check out BSS Top Decks on Twitter, and be sure to tag them with your local results so we can preserve as much data as possible. Hope you have a fantastic day. Peace out.